Yo, YouTube, what up, man? What it do, Jim Shoe? I'm back with another reaction video, and today I got craziest courtroom moments of all time. We love a little bit of drama. We love it here. So we're gonna get into it. Let me reiterate, this is a reaction video. So if you're not here for the reaction video, get gone. Get gone. Everybody else, man, hope y'all having a blessed and wonderful day, a blessed and a wonderful week. I hope after this video you have an even better day or night. Whenever you decide to watch it, I hope you have an even better day. Hope this video works for you. So, you know this ain't gonna turn into a yapathon, so let's get into it.
This is Jaleel Smith.
Jaleel Smith,
who is facing charges for murder in Michigan. Smith Riley was involved in an armed robbery on November 16th, 2013 in Norwood, where he and two other men approached a parked car. Inside the parked car was 20-year-old Portia Brooks and her boyfriend, Aaron Martin. Smith Riley knocked on the window with a handgun and forced Martin, who was in the passenger seat, out of the car. Jaleel then proceeded to go through Aaron's pockets and demanded his cash. Once Jaleel had taken every dollar Aaron had, he then took his life with a shot to the head, causing permanent brain damage. However, Jaleel wasn't done there. Right after shooting Aaron, he then leaned into the car and fired at Brooks, who was sitting in the car, twice. And she died 3 days later. Fortunately, Martin survived the shooting.
He didn't die?
Sustained serious injury. Before the judge announced the sentence that Jaleel would be facing, Portia's family got the chance to address the jury and the man who took their daughter away from them. Sharon Brooks, Portia's mother, brought the box containing her daughter's ashes to the courtroom, as she had for previous court dates. She stated that Smith Riley had ruined her life and killed her identity as a mother of three.
This is what I have left because of his greed, his selfishness, his complete disregard of and disrespect of others and life. But as you can see, I get nothing back except the reality that she is gone. Tia Marie Brooks, Portia's sister, also spoke emotionally and requested that Smith Riley be handed the maximum sentence.
I have to deal with life without Portia, so he should deal with life without parole.
Then, Aaron, who Jaleel shot in the head, spoke to the court.
She's still here with us, and she will always be here. So she's our angel looking over us, helping to get through these hard times.
As if Smith Riley's crime was not outrageous enough, his reaction to his sentence was even more dramatic. During the trial on August 11th, 2021, Smith Riley pleaded guilty to aggravated murder and attempted murder. However, he later decided to withdraw his guilty plea against the advice of his attorneys.
What you crying for, weirdo?
From the beginning, this was an emotional day for the families of both of these victims, but when Smith Riley decided to reverse his plea halfway through the sentencing hearing, they were shocked, and his attorneys were too, in part because it puts the death penalty back on the table.
Prior to receiving his sentence, Jaleel was heard apologizing in court as what appeared to be a last attempt at showing remorse. Additionally, Jaleel's attorney made a final attempt at saving face.
And he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
Despite the tears and the apologies, Judge Charles Kubicki, presiding over the case in Hamilton County Common Pleas Court, denied Smith Riley's request and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The 23-year-old monster that is currently rotting behind bars collapsed to the floor of the courtroom upon receiving his sentence. Smith Riley also received an additional sentence of 11 years for a related attempted murder charge. However bad you think Smith Riley's case was, it can't be
Hold on, man. He basically was crying because he didn't want to spend the rest of his life in prison. And I get it, man. A lot of people think that, you know, a lot of people make mistakes and they deserve second chances, but what is that second chance going to do for the family? Just imagine being a parent up at the stand and they talking to their child's killer. He get a chance to go back to the cell. He get a chance to go back to the yard. He good. He gonna get his commissary. He's continuing to live. But now that parent got to live without their child. I just know that's like the worst feeling. Like, how do you face that? How do you face that? He only 23, man. He ruined his life over a couple of dollars. And I get it. You're gonna do a drill, like you finna rob somebody, you know, you gotta get rid of the witness. You don't wanna be identified. I got a better idea. How about you just get a job? If I wanna be street, bro, you street niggas, bro. It's not worth it. Cause at the end of the day, bro, you're gonna end up locked up and you're gonna be crying, begging for your life. No, you got a second chance now. For all you niggas that's out here trying to get to it right now, all you jack boys, robbers, whatever, bro, this is y'all second chance. Get right. Get right, because once you locked up and you take somebody's life, it's too late. You don't need a second chance. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that because y'all got family members that's probably fighting to come home right now. Screw that. I said it, screw it. Keep them where they at. An eye for an eye. That's the way I believe. If you're gonna rob and take from somebody and then you take their life, the judge need to take your life. I said it.
Compared to the infamous case of TJ Lane. This is TJ Lane, who's facing charges for multiple murders in Ohio. TJ Lane was a convicted American murderer who gained notoriety after committing a horrific crime at Chardon High School in Ohio. On February 27, 2012, the Ohio Police Department responded to multiple calls from teachers and students that there was an active shooter in the building.
High school, we had shots fired, gunshots, multiple gunshots. 911.
Chardon High School, we need police up here. There's someone in the building with a gun.
Yeah.
According to police reports, Lane entered the school and headed to the cafeteria. It was here that TJ Lane opened fire and killed 3 students and severely injured 3 others. 6 people got physically harmed at the hands of TJ Lane that day, but hundreds, if not thousands of people left Chardon High School on February 27, 2012, with intangible pain that will last through eternity.
Glances of your friends laying all over the place, there's blood, there's people screaming, everybody's running in different directions, and you're just trying to get out.
I saw a kid holding a gun pointed towards a group of kids.
Do you remember the look on the gunman's face?
I never looked at his face, I just looked at the gun. I still can't think about it all because it's just so scary.
Lane's actions sent shockwaves through the community. He was swiftly apprehended and charged with 3 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of attempted aggravated murder, and 1 count of felonious assault. As if the murders were not bad enough, Lane showed no remorse for his actions at the trial and refused to cooperate with his attorneys. Instead, he appeared in court wearing a t-shirt with the word killer written
on his shirt.
And even gave the middle finger to the victims' families. During the sentencing hearing, Lane made a shocking statement.
Saying pull the trigger, they kill their sons, now masturbates to memory.
The statement caused outrage and disgust, not only among the families of the victims, but also across the entire nation. The judge presiding over the case, Judge David Fury, described Lane's behavior as heinous, unprovoked, and senseless, and sentenced him to 3 life sentences in prison without parole. Lane didn't even bat an eyelid when he heard his sentence. He remained emotionless and unremorseful. Lane's behavior and reactions were likened to that of a psychopath. However, not every convict remained emotionless after hearing their sentence.
Just 3 life sentences? That's it? He took 3 kids' life, right? 3 kids' life? Yeah. He shot, what, 3 others? Yeah. I think the families and those 3 kids that he shot, they all should get a turn. Line him up. They all should get a turn. They don't need no 22 though. Get them something nice, like a 4.5. Feel me? 4.5. Glock. Let everybody get a turn. An eye for an eye. This dude has no remorse, bro. Don't give him life, man. Take his life. I'm sorry, I can't say that on here. I didn't mean it like that. I meant on GTA. But an eye for an eye, man. That's crazy. Disgusting.
In the case of Ryan Stone. This is Ryan Stone, who is facing charges for going on a crime splurge throughout the nation, including kidnapping and assault, all of which was captured and broadcasted live by helicopters. The chase began after Stone hijacked a car with a 4-year-old boy inside and drove off, leading police on a dangerous pursuit that lasted more than an hour. During the chase, Stone drove up to 100 miles per hour and was reckless in every regard of the word. He's seen here overtaking an innocent civilian on the highway, throwing them out of the car before carrying on in the new vehicle. But that's not all. Watch here as he exits the highway, opens the car door at full speed, then slams onto the brakes right before crashing into another car parked in an intersection. Investigators believe this was a sorry attempt at another carjacking. Stone also crashed into several other vehicles during this chase, causing numerous injuries.
Bro, what's wrong with him?
He even came inches from taking out a policeman who was trying to place stop sticks on the highway. He eventually crashed the stolen car and attempted to flee on foot.
I don't know why y'all around with y'all doors locked anyway.
However, he was quickly apprehended by police and placed in a holding cell. As if Stone's actions weren't bad enough, he was caught on tape boasting about his actions to a friend who visited him in the cell.
Hey, did you know I made the news in the UK and Australia? What? Yeah, my lawyer told me I made the news in the UK and Australia. If you type in Grand Theft Auto on YouTube, my shit comes up first.
Ryan also believes that he should be compensated for his viral car chase because the news channels are using his car chase footage.
I'm going to contact House of News or have you contact House of News or somebody.
Oh, this dude here is nuts.
Stone was charged with 26 crimes involving kidnapping, motor vehicle theft, assault, and eluding police. Stone's sentencing hearing was emotional. In court, many of his victims and their families can be heard speaking about the impact of his crimes on their lives. Some spoke of physical injuries they had sustained in the crash, while others described the emotional trauma they had experienced due to the incident. Stone spoke at the hearing. He cried, expressed remorse for his actions, and apologized to his victims. Isn't it ironic that in the same week, Ryan was captured in the video on the left, laughing and boasting about his crimes, and on the other video on the right, he's seen crying and begging for sympathy from the court, as he finally realized the severity of his actions. Despite his apology, the judge in the case was unmoved, noting that Stone had shown a pattern of criminal behavior and that he posed a threat to society. The judge handed down the maximum sentence possible. Stone pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 160 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Stone was in tears when he learned he'd spend the rest of his life in prison. Stone blamed his actions on drugs, and his show of remorse might be sincere. However, some convicts are rather shocked by their sentences, like in the case of Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari. This is Seth Welch and Tatiana Fusari, who are facing charges for first-degree murder in Michigan. Seth and Tatiana were the parents of 10-month-old Mary Ann Welch, who police said died of malnutrition and dehydration due to neglect on August 2nd, 2018, in Solon Township, Kent County, Michigan. Child Protective Services had been involved with the family since 2014 after THC was found in the system of their firstborn child. Mary weighed only 8 pounds at the time of her death. Her parents refused to seek medical help, citing religious reasons and distrust of the medical system. The family home was found to be unhygienic during the initial investigation, with evidence of vermin, insects, and mold. The doctor who performed the autopsy confirmed that Mary was suffering from chronic malnutrition caused by withholding food and water. Seth's call to 911 revealed their level of neglect for their daughter.
And he said, when you found her, she was already believed to be deceased, right? Yes. And that's when you consulted with a lawyer? Yep. Do you believe she was beyond help already? Oh yeah, get as bad as the door now.
When in court, the prosecutors made sure to highlight just how neglectful the parents were of their 10-month-old child.
You didn't know that. And don't tell me you didn't intend that because you didn't get her little tush out of that crib. You left her in there. You ignored her because she was an inconvenience.
The couple was initially charged with felony homicide murder in August 2018. In June 2020, Seth Welch was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. In 2021, Fusari testified that her husband was abusive and that she was not allowed to take Mary to the doctor.
He got very angry with me. He smacked me across the face, and he told me that he knows he said, you know what the I think about doctors. I told you Mary is fine. She's fine, now drop it.
In November 2021, Fusari was sentenced to life without parole for first-degree murder and an additional 15 to 30 years for first-degree child abuse. When the judge pronounced their life sentence, Seth's mouth dropped open in shock, and Fusari started crying. For many people, this couple got what they deserved.
Yeah, I got what y'all deserve.
This wasn't the only time a convict got a sentence that felt like justice.
Some people don't deserve kids, man.
Carpio.
This nigga on the whole mask.
Nigga facing charges for murder in Rhode Island. Carpio is an American murderer who killed a detective at a Providence police station in 2005. Providence Police Detective Sergeant James L. Allen and another detective were questioning Carpio at the Providence Police headquarters for accosting an 85-year-old woman, Madeline Gata. According to police reports, the second detective left to the third-floor interview room to retrieve some water. It was here where things took a turn for the worst.
Carpio had asked for water, and the two detectives that were in there with him, one left to go get the water and locked the door behind him. And they tragically heard Detective Allen say, I think he's going to kill me. He's got my gun, he's going to kill me. By the time they broke it down, the officer was dying, and Carpio had jumped out the window.
However, he was recaptured a few minutes later amid struggles with the police, but that was not the end of the drama. Due to the risky jump and struggles with the police, Carpio sustained injuries. When it came time for his sentencing, Carpio came to court wearing a mask designed to keep him from spitting at or biting others. His face was red, bruised, and swollen.
Well, they beat that man
senseless. His family members screamed and accused the police of brutality.
I'm not guilty, Steven!
The family believed that they forced him to wear the mask to try and hide the brutal revenge beating they gave Carpio behind closed doors. In fact, Carpio's aunt went on live TV to say this.
It's gross police brutality. He was mentally ill, and he needed help, and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried.
Bro, no, ain't nobody trying to hear that mentally ill BS. Nobody trying to hear that. Nah, well, yeah, you might be mentally ill if you're gonna do that. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, like, how can a family fight for something like that, bro? Like, I get it. Be loyal till the wheels fall off. But don't act like he was innocent. He's not innocent at all. They could have killed that man. They could have killed him. They just beat him up, roughed him up a little bit. I mean, it's obvious. Look at his eyes. We know that they put hands on him. He probably was resisting and he put hands and feet on that man. Which he does. It's fair. It's fair. Who cares about police brutality? He took lives. Make it make sense, because it don't make sense to me.
And he didn't deserve this.
However,
he did deserve
Providence Police Chief Dean M. Esserman argued that Carpio's injuries were sustained when he jumped from the third-floor interview room and resisted arrest.
He jumped
the
from the
FBI
third
later
floor.
investigated the police, but it was concluded that they did not use excessive force.
No civil rights violation when injuries are incident to arrest. Meaning, if he's fighting the police officers, the officers have the right to use whatever force necessary to subdue the subject.
On June 27, 2006, a jury found Carpio guilty of the murder of Detective Allen and the stabbing of Madeline Gata. Despite his plea of insanity, Carpio was sentenced to life in prison without parole. At first, he showed little reaction to his sentence and remained unmoved. However, later, in an attempt to win over the jury, he was heard apologizing for his actions.
Every day, I face the facts of what I did and what happened.
Carpio claimed he was suffering from mental illness at the time of the crime, but the court didn't entertain the claims. However evil you think Carpio is, how does he compare to Kayla Mendoza, who tweeted this the same night she took 2 girls' lives in a deadly drunk driving crash?
Too drunk to care.
Kayla Mendoza to 2 counts of DUI manslaughter. That's count 1 and count 3. How do you plead?
Who is facing charges for double manslaughter, among other charges in Florida. The 20-year-old woman who was not licensed to drive was convicted of the murder of 2 women while drunk driving in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on November 17, 2013. Before the crash, Mendoza went to a local bar with her manager and colleagues from her job where she drank 2 fishbowl margaritas. A few hours later, Mendoza got behind the wheel of a Hyundai Sonata and drove the wrong way on the Sawgrass Expressway.
Kayla hopped into her car and went speeding the wrong way down the freeway at more than 80 miles an hour. She collided head-on with another car, killing these two beautiful young women, Marissa Cotroneo and Caitlin Ferrante, both just 21.
Mendoza was charged with 2 counts of DUI manslaughter while impaired, 2 counts of DUI manslaughter with an unlawful blood alcohol level, 2 counts of vehicular homicide, and 2 counts of driving without a license causing death. Mendoza's then-boyfriend owned the Hyundai Sonata involved in the crash and explained that the "too drunk to care" tweet was directed toward him.
The "too drunk to care" tweet was for my boyfriend because he was upset I was out, hanging out with them and with Marcelo drinking because he wanted me to be home.
The Ferrante and Cotroneo families filed lawsuits against Mendoza, her boyfriend, the T-Mobile store where Mendoza was employed, and the Tijuana Taxi Company. On May 4th, 2015, 2 months after pleading guilty to 2 DUI manslaughter charges, Mendoza was sentenced to 24 years in prison. Mendoza was apologetic throughout the trial. When she heard her sentence, her apology and crying intensified.
No matter how much time passes, I'm going to live with that in my heart every day.
After her sentence, Mendoza will also serve 6 years of probation and is permanently banned from driving a motor vehicle. Mendoza's apologies and remorse showed that she may yet be saved. However, the same cannot be said for Adrian Dunn. This is a...
Why are they suing the boyfriend? What did the boyfriend do? I could see that tweet meaning for him, honestly. I could see that. I don't know what they attacking the boyfriend for. Like, and it sucks that every time a drunk driver get behind the wheel, they never kill themselves. Ever. It's crazy. It's always killing the other person.
Adrian Dunn, who is facing charges for murder in San Antonio. Adrian, an ex-convict, was sentenced for the murder of Rakeem Tariq Charles. Police said that Adrian shot Charles in the back during a drug deal in a parking lot on July 16, 2012. To make matters worse, this wasn't even Dunn's first encounter with law enforcement.
To prison twice for possessing a firearm after this murder. He committed another shooting a month before this murder. And he's shown zero remorse.
Prosecutors urged the jury to impose the maximum sentence, noting that Adrian had an extensive criminal history and had shown no remorse for the murder. Prosecutor Jason Goss can be seen here holding the hand of the victim's parents. Before arguing to the jury that a life sentence was necessary to prevent another family from suffering, as Charles' family had.
Her son, who has to suffer, and this family who has to suffer because of the defendant. And that's why we're asking you for a life sentence.
If you thought the crimes were horrendous, wait till you see how Adrian reacted to his sentence. Throughout the trial, Adrian showed no remorse and couldn't have been less concerned. He was found guilty of the crime. Still, his attorney argued that a sentence of 35 to 40 years would be more appropriate. His reasoning?
Don't give Adrian a chance to go into prison and try to make something of himself so that when he gets out, if he ever gets out, he can try to be an asset to our community.
However, the jury deliberated for just 2 hours before returning with a sentence of life in prison. As the jury's decision was read out, Adrian began to fight with Bexar County Sheriff's deputies, attempting to escort him from the courtroom. Dunn's behavior was marked by profanity and outbursts. He was eventually subdued and removed from the court. Adrian's case can be termed a drug case gone bad. However, while he remains stoic and combative, there are other convicts who break down in court and feel genuine remorse for their actions.
Yeah, he got a bad attitude. Keep him in there. Nah, that's like that. That's different right there. That's like, I ain't gonna say that's different. Yeah, keep him. Keep him. I don't get how they get mad after they get sentenced. Like, what do you expect? You done this. What do you expect? You expect them to just let you walk and go home? How am I wrong for sentencing you for taking somebody's life? Who are you mad at? If you want to fight somebody, fight yourself. Go to your cell and fight yourself. Or go to the dorm and take it out on somebody in there. Man, this world is crazy, man. Can't lie, this world is crazy. The safest place is your crib, and that ain't even too safe. You need to homeschool your kids You need to Uber eat, DoorDash all your food. When you go out and drive, you got the risk of being robbed, hit by a drunk driver. It's just too much risk, man. Too much risk. Man. W video though, I'm gonna stop it here. Like I always tell y'all, man, be cool how y'all be cool. Be safe, man. Stay on your P's and Q's, man. Watch your surroundings. Till the next video, man. Peace.